Welcome back to Chilling Fireside Stories, where the crackling fire brings warmth. But tonight's tale will send shivers down your spine. Before we begin, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It means a lot and keeps me motivated to bring you more of these unsettling mysteries. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a new video and share this story with friends who love a good mystery. Now grab your warm drink, get comfortable by the fire, and let's travel back to 1922. To a small, remote farm in the Bavarian countryside, where something terrifying unfolded that has remained an unsolved mystery for over 100 years. It's the evening of March 31st, 1922. The Gruber family is settling in for the night, unaware that they're about to become the victims of one of the most disturbing and perplexing mass murders in history. Strange footprints have already appeared in the snow, but there's something even stranger about those prints. They lead toward the house, but none lead back. What followed would forever be etched into the history of Hinterkaifeck Farm. 6 bodies, no witnesses, no escape route. The killer, or killers, had vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but questions. Tonight, we will explore every unsettling detail, police report, and witness statement that makes this case one of the most bizarre unsolved mysteries to this day. So settle in, it's going to be a long, twisted journey. The Gruber family was well known in the small, close-knit village of Gruber, just outside of Munich. The patriarch, Andreas Gruber, was a stern and unpleasant man. He was disliked by many, especially after rumors surfaced about his abusive behavior towards his daughter, Victoria, and the suspicion that their relationship had gone beyond the boundaries of what was acceptable. This rumor would fuel much speculation in the years to come. Victoria was a widow, left to raise 2 children on her own, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Joseph. Joseph's paternity was a point of gossip and intrigue in the village. Some believed that Andreas was the boy's father, while others thought it might be Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a local farmer who had once been romantically involved with Victoria. Despite these personal tensions, the family lived a relatively quiet life on their farm, Hinterkaifeck. The farm was isolated. Its nearest neighbors lived over a mile away. This distance would prove to be both a blessing and a curse on the night of the murders. Just days before the murders, Andreas Gruber noticed something unsettling. As he surveyed the snow-covered ground around the farm, he found a set of footprints leading from the edge of the forest straight towards the house. These footprints, however, did not lead back to the woods. It was as if someone had walked to the house but had never left. Disturbed, Andreas searched the house and the grounds for any signs of an intruder but found nothing. Then came another ominous sign: strange noises from the attic. For several nights, Andreas heard footsteps above his head. He investigated again but found no one. The family brushed it off, attributing the sounds to the creaks and groans of an old house. But they would soon discover that something far more sinister was at play. On April 4, 1922, neighbors grew concerned. The Grubers hadn't been seen in days, and little Cecilia hadn't shown up for school. As days passed without any sign of the Gruber family, a few local farmers, including Lorenz Schlittenbauer, who was familiar with the Grubers, decided to investigate the property. What they found would haunt them for the rest of their lives. When Schlittenbauer and his companions arrived at the Hinterkaifeck farm, they immediately noticed something peculiar. The farm animals were still alive, fed, and in good health. Smoke was seen rising from the chimney, suggesting that someone had been maintaining the property, yet no one had seen or heard from the Grubers in days. As they stepped onto the property, an overwhelming sense of dread hung in the air. One of the men cautiously approached the barn, where they would make the first discovery. Pushing open the heavy door, they were met with a scene of horror. Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, and Victoria's young daughter were all found piled on top of each other, their bodies grotesquely mutilated. It was clear that whoever had done this had used an incredibly violent method, a mattock or pickaxe, leaving each victim unrecognizable. The scene inside the barn was so horrific that many of the neighbors who helped recover the bodies could not speak of it for years. The brutality was unlike anything they had ever encountered in their small, peaceful farming community. When police arrived, they discovered 2 more bodies inside the house. In the maid's room lay Maria Baumgartner, who had only begun working at Hinterkaifeck on the day of the murders. And in his crib, Joseph, Victoria's 2-year-old son, had been murdered as well. The police were baffled. Despite the carnage, the crime scene held few clues. There were no signs of forced entry, and the footprints leading to the house provided no explanation as to how the killer had left. The murder weapon, a mattock, was found at the scene, but it revealed little about the identity of the perpetrator. The official autopsy would later confirm this. Perhaps the most horrifying detail of all, that the young girl had suffered alone in those final moments. Some neighbors reported hearing strange noises coming from the attic, scratches, bumps in the night. Andreas himself had even mentioned to friends that he discovered a newspaper on his property that didn't belong to the family. There were also reports of house keys going missing, although no one thought much of it at the time. Investigators initially suspected Lorenz Schlittenbauer. His actions during the discovery of the bodies were odd. He had tampered with the crime scene, and some thought he had shown too little emotion given the circumstances. It didn't help that he had once been romantically involved with Victoria, and some believed he was the father of young Joseph. However, there was no solid evidence to prove his guilt. Police interviewed dozens of suspects and explored every lead, but no arrest was ever made. The case, despite its brutality, went cold. Over the years, many theories have emerged regarding the Hinterkaifeck murders. Some believe the killer was someone close to the family, perhaps Lorenz Schlittenbauer or even Andreas Gruber himself, in some twisted murder-suicide scenario. But these theories are difficult to substantiate. Others speculate that a wandering vagrant, possibly a mentally disturbed individual, had stumbled upon the farm and committed the murders. This theory gained some traction due to reports of strange individuals seen in the area around the time of the killings, but again, no solid evidence ever surfaced. Then there is the chilling possibility that the killer had been living in the Gruber's attic, watching them for days, perhaps even weeks, before finally striking. The footsteps heard by Andreas in the attic, coupled with the missing keys to the house and the strange noises, all point to this unsettling theory. Yet, like all others, it remains a mystery. The Hinterkaifeck murders gripped the nation. Newspapers ran sensational headlines, and the public was both horrified and fascinated by the grisly details of the case. The idea that such a brutal crime could occur in a quiet, rural community shocked people to their core. The press reported on every aspect of the case, from the rumors about Andreas and Victoria's relationship to the bizarre evidence, or lack thereof, left at the scene. Despite the extensive coverage, however, no new leads ever emerged. In the years following the murders, the Hinterkaifeck farm became a place of dark legend. Many locals believed the property was cursed. Those who passed by would report seeing strange lights flickering in the windows, even though the house had long been abandoned. Others claimed to hear the distant sound of footsteps in the barn, the very place where the family met their end. One of the most chilling reports came from a local farmer who claimed that, on a quiet night in the years following the murders, he saw a shadowy figure standing in the distance near the edge of the property. The figure didn't move, didn't shift or breathe, just stood staring in the direction of the barn. When the farmer approached to investigate, the figure vanished without a trace. More than 100 years have passed since the murders at Hinterkaifeck, yet the case remains unsolved. Despite advances in forensic science, modern investigators have been unable to crack the mystery. The farm itself was demolished in 1923, but the legend of Hinterkaifeck lives on. To this day, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain one of the most terrifying unsolved cases in German history. Despite multiple investigations, forensic advancements, and the passage of time, the killer was never identified. What's left are theories, rumors, and the heavy weight of tragedy that continues to hang over Hinterkaifeck farm. Modern-day investigators have revisited the case numerous times, and while advancements in forensic technology have shed light on certain aspects of the crime, the truth remains elusive. Some believe that the real killer may have died long ago, taking their dark secret with them. Others still hope that one day, a vital clue will emerge, finally bringing closure to this haunting mystery. As we bring this story to a close, one question remains. Will we ever truly know what happened that fateful night? Or will the Hinterkaifeck murders forever remain one of history's most chilling unsolved mysteries? Thank you for joining me tonight by the fire as we delved into one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries in history. The Hinterkaifeck murders leave us with more questions than answers, but perhaps that's what makes this case so chilling. It's the fear of the unknown, the silence where there should be truth. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's darkest corners, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means the world to me and helps me keep bringing you more detailed, suspenseful stories like this one. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you'll be notified every time a new tale is ready to unfold. And if you know someone who loves true crime or the paranormal, please share this video. It could just chill them to the bone. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, not every mystery can be solved,